Hey, all right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Early Morning Crypto Talk. Brandon Ivey from Los Angeles, California. Go ahead and type your name in the chat box and where you're listening in from. As a disclaimer, I am not a licensed financial advisor to be giving financial advice. I share information for entertainment, educational, and training purposes only. And it is up to you to make your own informed, intelligent decision on which direction you want to move into. All right, this is another day. We are halfway through the week. It is Wednesday. Last night, we had a special diamond training. Those of you in the Diamond Club, what I shared with you is priceless information. It is information that is a skill set that leads you on the path to becoming a seven-figure earner. If you are not in the Diamond class, instead of thinking of how much it costs to be in the Diamond, you need to think about what it's costing you not to be. That's information that back in the day, companies would pay me thousands of dollars just to train and teach on a Saturday afternoon, or would fly me in just to do personal development training on that type of information that we are offering here with our members in our community. So welcome, welcome. We've got a couple of good topics to cover this morning in the crypto space. The also I have a busy day today. I've got this coming up as well. I have the Get Fit presentation at the top of the hour. And as a heads up, last week was the launch of ILCA plus 4th of July holidays. I was swamped and busy, so I have not been fully on top of what the new proof of concept for the avalanche chain on Get Fit is all about. I understand the basics. The point of what they are trying to do is to show how the ecosystem unimpeded would work on a brand new blockchain starting from scratch. So the whole point of that is not necessarily how much money can be made, it's to show if the evolution is taking place from beginning to end, what it would look like. That is an optional thing to do. Don't think of that as, I'm going to go in there, let me see if I can make a lot of money off of this thing. It's, can I participate to show the rest of the world and the community how this would work? And this is going to take place on 5 blockchains at the same time by the end of the year. Don't go into it thinking, you know what, I probably could purchase some coins cheap, wait till the price goes up and then sell it rather than being a part of the program. If you do that, you're actually hurting the program. The whole point of that program is to show how the value of the coin can rise if you're doing these steps. That's the point. So that is optional. So anybody that wants to be a part of that, I don't have, if you call me up, I can't tell you exactly what to do. But I just uploaded a document into the elite group, the Get Fit side, that is a step-by-step on for those that want to participate in that from beginning to end. So just follow that document, and even though when I do the presentation, it's not going to be covering that. I just talk about what the concept of Get Fit mining actually is. All right, but also the diamond. If you missed the diamond class last night, I will be uploading the recording of it, but I'm going to upload it to our membership section. So Diamond members will have access to that. It's not going to be in the Diamond Telegram group. It's going to be in our own membership section. So you guys are in the inner circle. I hope you guys, in one day, probably, maybe I'll choose Monday, or I'll do a special, maybe Friday morning on a setup, how to utilize, and oh, I just got another idea. I'm gonna give this one to Miss Casa. I'm gonna talk to her about it, and I'm gonna tell you guys what I'm gonna do tomorrow. But anyways, make sure you guys are able to download the app, be in part of the groups that you're in, whether it's Inner Circle or a Diamond, and know how to utilize that. That's coming up. All right, so let's see what's going on in the crypto world today. We've seen a lot of volatility this week. So the crypto market cap, let's refresh. All right, crypto market cap is slightly up, almost 1% in the last 24 hours. We're at 2.2 trillion. Bitcoin dominance is at 50.9%. Ethereum is at 16.7%. Bitcoin slightly up 0.8% in the last 24 hours, but the last hour is down 0.6%. This is interesting. So just looking at this, like I told you guys, when I look at this like a picture, I see red and I see green. So the last 24 hours, I see green. But the last hour, where is this trending? I see nothing but red within the last hour. And then if you look at the graph, that kind of shows it too. You see Bitcoin on the downside here over the past hour. Let me see if any outliers here. Cardano's up 2.7. Avalanche is up 3. Isn't that interesting? I wonder if what Get Fit is doing will have an impact on this Avalanche chain. We start having a bunch of people buying Avalanche, and the rest of the world doesn't understand why, but it's because the Get Fit community is on this. I'm gonna be watching Avalanche very closely. Shiba, let's see, Bitcoin Cash, Near Protocol is up 4.4%. FET up 2.7, Aptos 3.4. Ooh, Stacks is up 6.2. Optimism 7.7. All right, so best performers in the last 24 hours. Phantom, Optimism, Ondo, Floki, Stacks, Sui, Arbitrum, Theta Network, Jasmy Coin, Mantle, Aave, Near Protocol, The Graph, and Core. All right, that's pretty healthy. No, 3, 4, 5% up. Who's the worst performers? Who did not rebound? Zebek Protocol, Not Coin, but Not Coin is still up 18.3% on the week. Flare, Quant, Chronos. That reminded me, I need to look up my crypto.com wallet. It's been a while. The Janelle token, Dogwif Hat, down 1.2. Brett's had a terrible week. In fact, this has been a long trend, I think the last 2 weeks. But Celestia, look at the difference here. Brett's down 16.6 on the week, but Celestia is up 16.7 on the week. So this just shows choppy waters. All right. So the biggest news that caught my eye this morning is about Bitcoin Rodney, who is no stranger to our community. In fact, I have made it no hidden detail that I was inspired by the name Bitcoin Brandon from the Bitcoin Rodney. I saw his brand with the BR in 2016. I was like, huh, well, I'm Brandon, BB. And then I had a team create a new logo for me. But that's the extent of our similarities from that point on. 95% of the opportunities that Bitcoin Rodney was in and promoted, I was not a part of. 95%. What's the 5%? Well, the 5% was a company called Clear that was attempting to come out with a blockchain-based cell phone. And Bitcoin Rodney was my sponsor in that. That's the only opportunity in all of our history that we've ever been in at the same time. So for anyone out there that wants to put, just because I go by Bitcoin Brandon, that I'm the same as Bitcoin Rodney, far from it. Our marketing styles are I'm an educator, he's a promoter. I think that's probably the best way to put that in the most positive light. I'm an educator, he's a promoter. I think that's the best way. I like that one. Marnita, put that one down. But we're in the same industry. We're in the same industry. So let's see. He got snapped up, arrested earlier this year. So now we got judge denies bail for Bitcoin Rodney, citing flight risk and fraud severity. And I have been watching this closely because I wanted to see how Bitcoin Rodney would be treated with such charges as compared to others. And I just inherently knew, call it a hunch, that he would have the book thrown at him. I don't know. I don't know why. I do know why. I'm playing dumb here, but why would that be? Why would he get a harsher sentence than somebody like FTX or Sam Bankman-Fried? I wonder what the missing ingredient is here. You guys can figure that out. But there's also one other problem too that he has. He's a prior felon convict. So when you see Donald Trump with 34 felony counts running around free right now, not even been sentenced yet, he doesn't have any priors. Bitcoin Rodney actually does. So the detractors that want to say, Brandon, don't play the race card, can point to that. I'm still playing the race card anyway because I know they're going to use Bitcoin Rodney as an example. And I have an issue with that. It is not defending him or what he's done. It's like the OJ case. We all knew OJ did it. So when the verdict came down, not guilty, Black people weren't celebrating because they believed OJ didn't do it. They were celebrating because for the first time on a case like this, a community that has always been railroaded beat the system that was designed against us. Bitcoin Rodney, this ain't going to look good for him. By the way, he's guilty as hell. Okay. I've been watching him. I've been following him. I've been giving warnings. I called it out in real time. There's no other way. The shit he was doing was wrong. That's why I was never a part of any of it. And I would get blasted for calling him out. There's a reason he would have his expos in Miami, DC, and never wanted to invite me to be on there with them. There's a reason for that. I don't need to go into details. But arrested, Rodney Burton, known as Bitcoin Rodney, will remain in detention awaiting trial on charges of masterminding a multi-billion-dollar crypto fraud. Arrested in January at Miami International Airport, Burton faces accusations of conspiracy to operate an unlicensed money transmitting business and the actual operation of such a business. Okay, so here's also, somebody said to me, well, Brandon, haven't you been involved in scams? Yes. Yes, I have. Did I have the intent of scamming anybody? No. Did I believe in what I was involved in was a scam? No. Did you look at Bitcoin Rodney? Did he know the things he was involved in was a scam? Yes. Did he have the intent of scamming people? Yes. Do you see the difference? There's a huge difference. Just because you were a part of a business that failed and scammed people doesn't mean that you're a freaking scam. You're a scammer. Not only was he a part of it, he helped operate it. And like Donald Trump, they got him on tape. They got him on tape. So, U.S. District Judge Richard Bennett denied Burton's bail request on Tuesday, citing him as a significant flight risk. Okay, so now if I had to put myself in in the judge's shoes. First of all, I do not like they're going to use Rodney as a scapegoat here as an example. But if I put all biases aside, looking at past crypto individuals who have made millions of dollars, they are a flight risk. Run off to Dubai, run off to Singapore, run off to Brazil. Rodney has the means and the connections and the money to do that. So I can't even fault, will they consider him a flight risk? And I know the last thing I read was he wanted to be put in house arrest under the custody of his aunt or his grandmother, because he used to live in the basement, and he has a whole marketing plan about from the basement to the penthouse. He is an undoubtedly success story. How he became a success story can be questionable, but there's no doubt about it. He is a master marketer, promoter. I just imagine the things he could have done if he actually did them the right way. He might not have made the same amount of money he has right now, but he'd be free. I value my freedom more than money. So U.S. District Judge denied bail request on Tuesday, citing him as a significant flight risk. Last month, Burton requested release under strict high-intensity supervision, but prosecutors argued that he is deeply involved in a Ponzi scheme. Wait, was or is? Because the schemes that he's charged with are no longer operational. So he's not pulling money from those schemes. But look at the languages that he is deeply involved implies. What do we talk about last night in the Diamond class? It's one thing to read something, it's another to understand what you're reading. It's one thing to know the personality traits, it's another to observe it in action and apply. So I pay attention. Prosecutors argue that he is deeply involved. Okay, what Ponzi scheme is he deeply involved in right now? They presented evidence from look at this, recorded phone conversation. Didn't I tell you they got him on audio? In which Burton allegedly discussed plans to move to Dubai to continue his cryptocurrency activities, despite being aware of the potential harm to others. So I have another question. What was this phone call made before he was arrested or after? Now, this is no secret. Before he was arrested, Bitcoin Rodney has videos of him. He hires a video crew that follows him everywhere he goes and documents it all. And they put music behind it. They show him getting in his Lambo. They show him getting in the private plane. They show him in the club with the strippers in the club and the ass shaking. And they show him with the wine, with the fire on it, his name in the highlights. They show him in Dubai. They show his vehicle in his living room. I mean, he said it. I'm in Dubai. That's not a secret. But they got him on a phone conversation saying that he's going to move everything to Dubai, knowing that it's harming others. The indictment details numerous illegal financial transactions. Judge Bennett highlighted the severity of the alleged $2 billion fraud. Okay, hold up. Rodney didn't have no freaking $2 billion, okay? He was not the CEO. He was not the programmer. He was just the biggest hype man of whatever project it was. At the height, I would say he probably earned $20+ million. What he was charged with is about $7 million, because that's what they can actually find. So you have to ask yourself, is making $20 million and serving 10 to 15 years in jail worth it? Some might say, depending on how old I am. Is it worth it? So they're saying severity of the alleged $2 billion fraud and Burton's, here we go, prior convictions for conspiracy to distribute cocaine reinforcing the decision to deny bail. This is why they did not. He has a prior. No trial date has even been scheduled. He's been sitting in jail since January. Yeah, we're not going to see Rodney anytime soon. He ain't going to win this case. The next time we see Rodney will be maybe by the time the next two Bitcoin halvings happens by 2030 something. That's the next time you're going to see Rodney. And by that time, he'll be in his 60s, 64, 65, somewhere around there. Damn shame. All right. This is why you got to be careful what you're doing. You got to be educated in what you're doing. Rodney made millions in crypto. Rodney was not educated in crypto. I know that. Knowing how to move money from one wallet to another doesn't mean you're educated in the space. He was educated enough to know how to run these and be a part of these scams. That's about it. He couldn't teach crypto. Anyways, next one up. Bitcoin rebounds towards 60K, but choppiness is likely to persist. The market will have to absorb $4 billion, $4 to $7 billion of Bitcoin selling pressure. And if any of you think that I'm being either too nice or too hard when I speak about Bitcoin, Rodney, please let me know. I am trying to walk, a fine line of fairness. I know the man personally, and I watched him, and I know the things that he's done. And I also know that they are going to use him as a scapegoat, which I do not like. Seeing another black man getting put down. But in this case, you got to call it out when you ask for it. And I told him, dude, you're putting a target on your back. Why are you doing all that? But if that's all you know, that's all you know. The market will have to absorb 4 to 7 billion of Bitcoin selling pressure throughout the middle of the year, which will weigh on prices. Cryptocurrencies rebounded on Tuesday with Bitcoin climbing nearly 3% to around 58,000. Yeah, then it dropped down to where are we right now? We're in the $57,000 range. Yeah, 57,800. Slightly up though right now in the past hour. Actually, a lot of it is. Remember when I first started this crypto talk, everything was in the green, in the red here 20 minutes ago. So the market seems to be moving in the other way now. So this is kind of old news now. The grind higher could last a while, BTC potentially reaching $60,000, but the rally will be short-lived. Okay. The 55,000 to 56,000 range is forming a base from a technical analysis. Yesterday in Crypto Talk, we listened to the AI chatbots, and the AIs are talking about anywhere between 40,000 to $100,000 coin by the end of this year. We anticipate Bitcoin could rally back to nearly 60,000 before experiencing another decline to the low 50,000 range. You know what? I did ask Pi about how high it could go. I didn't ask Pi about how low it could go. Let's see. Can you please tell me, Pi, what is the prediction on how low Bitcoin can go this year? What is going to be the bottom?
Given the inherent volatility of Bitcoin and the unpredictability of the crypto market, it's challenging to pinpoint an exact bottom price for Bitcoin this year. However, some analysts suggest that a potential support level could be around $35,000 per unit, considering historical trends and technical analysis. That said, unforeseen events or market fluctuations could drive the price lower, so it's essential to exercise caution when predicting Bitcoin's lowest point.
Thank you, Pi. You know what? That's interesting. Pi is saying all the way down to 30,000 or 35,000. Interesting. My low is 40,000 based on where we currently are. But Pi even said it. Unforeseen circumstances could push it lower. That's why we do crypto talk. We got to pay attention to geopolitics. What about the other people that were right along with Bitcoin Rodney? Well, one is the crypto queen. I forgot her name. And she is a black woman who did a plea deal. In other words, she snitched on everybody else to get a lesser sentence. Now, while Bitcoin Rodney did not create it, that's the key. The person who created it, there's two people I know of. One's arrested, and the other they're still looking for. The one that's been arrested has not been, last I checked, arraigned yet. It's like they got Bitcoin Rodney going further, but that individual is facing less time than freaking Bitcoin Rodney. That's the problem I have. That's what I said about even with FTX and CZ from Binance. They actually dealt with the billions, and they're getting, special treatment and home confinement and just have to pay a fine and that's it. But they want to throw 15 to 20 on Bitcoin Rodney. He didn't create it. But again, with Bitcoin Rodney, he has a prior and they got him on tape. Right? They got him on tape. It's hard to defend that. And then he's got people telling on him. City analysts predict 8 weeks of Fed rate cuts starting in September. This is what can be one of those unforeseen circumstances. Fed rate cuts could impact the market. Analysts from Citi, the American Multinational Investment Bank and Financial Services Corporation, predict the U.S. Federal Reserve will begin reducing rates by September, totaling a 200 basis points cut over the next 8 Federal Open Market Committee meetings. Nevertheless, Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell stated on Tuesday that additional progress is required before the Fed can justify a cut to the federal funds rate. So they're going to do this right before the election. That's the one. Thank you, Melanie. It was Bitcoin Beauty, not Bitcoin Queenie. Bitcoin Beauty. Yeah, she's the one that cut a deal. City analysts foresee the Federal Reserve reducing 200 BPS in the next 8 meetings starting in September. CME's FedWatch tool indicates a 71.8% probability. 71% probability that is going to happen at 25. All right, I want to see the fallout. Data doesn't bolster the Fed's required confidence in the inflation trajectory. Will this slow down inflation, or will it make things worse? The central bank has stated that we do not expect it will be appropriate to reduce the target range for the federal funds rate until we have gained greater confidence that inflation is moving sustainably toward 2%. Here's a problem. This is this is kind of in the I talk about this in the diamond class in our business section. Why you have to change your mindset. On the best scenario, we average 2% inflation a year, which means every year, the 2%, your money is worth less by 2% every year. So it's like you're getting a pay cut of 2% a year. So if you're on a 9-to-5 job, are you getting a 2% raise every year? They used to do that to try to keep yourself above inflation. So while somebody from the 60s was to fast forward to the future, and in the 60s, they might have made $18,000 a year, 50s and 60s. And then today they see, dang, Americans are making the average, they're making 75,000 a year. Yeah, but back in those days, you could buy a home for $4,000, $5,000. They would look at the price of stuff. They go to the grocery store and look at what a cost of eggs is and bread. They'd flip out. They'd be like, that's a month's salary right there, a week's salary. But your paycheck is supposed to rise with its inflation. So the question, who's more dangerous, the maker or the pusher? The maker is. In the 80s, we had a war on drugs, and we wanted to go into the communities and try to arrest all the drug pushers and everything. Problem is, they're not the ones making the drugs. They're not the ones even bringing it in. They're pushing it out. So it doesn't matter how many of these pushers you get off the street. There's always going to be more because the supplier, the maker of it, has an unlimited supply still coming in. That's the dangerous motherfucker right there. Excuse my language. Because this is an argument that always, we don't want to go after the source. We want to try to go after the symptom, and not realizing that that's the problem. That's the danger. And that the CIA and others have made deals with them to allow a steady flow to always come in. When we look at the biggest drug problem in America right now, isn't in the streets with, cocaine and crack or weed, but that fentanyl stuff down in the Midwest, that them little pills that these kids are taking at parties, they're dying left and right. Fentanyl overdoses, that's what they call them. And you might think, well, how did my kid get his hand on that drug? We need to stop that. No, no, no. Stop the supplier, the maker of it, that's flooding it in here. It doesn't matter how many of these pushers you take off. They're only a symptom. So while, yeah, let's get Bitcoin Rodney off the streets, Bitcoin Rodney didn't create it. You give a light sentence to that fool, they just go out there and do it under a different name. And that's what happened with those programs. Those programs, like what was it called again? Hyperfund, Hyperverse, Hyper this, Hyper that. It's all the same people who created it. When one falls, they just go and create another one and leave a trail of victims. And then when one promoter of it gets taken down, they just go find another promoter to keep it up on the next deal, and then the next deal, and the next deal. All right, anyways, here. 2%. Oh, yeah, I had a train of thought here. There's certain topics that I don't hold my tongue on. And the overcriminalization and the minorities, that's one of them, as if it's their fault. They don't own no poppy fields. They don't own no boats and ships. They don't own no planes to be bringing all this stuff in here. They don't own no manufacturing facilities. The only thing they got power over is a little street corner down the street from their apartment. And we want to act like that's the criminal. Anyways, here's the difference between employee mindset and entrepreneur mindset. I love what Jim Rohn said. Jim Rohn said, the goal is to build a financial wall around your house so high that nothing can penetrate it. So how do you stay ahead of inflation? Just make more money. If you make more money than the rate of inflation, you'll never really feel the inflation. So every year you've got to be progressing. On a job, you're literally right here. Sometimes you're a little less. Actually, you are less. Inflation is still ahead of the money you make. That's why every year it seems you're getting less and less and less, while entrepreneurs are on the opposite side of it. Every year it seems they're getting more and more and more. And that's why you see that wealth gap that continues to change like this. Entrepreneurs live on this side of inflation. 9-to-5 job people live on this side of inflation. If that makes sense, type me in the chat box. So we ought to see how this impacts, and what will the wealthy people do with these rate hikes? Will they move their money into gold and crypto? Will crypto get a bump, or will it be the opposite? All right, last one up, then I got to run. Bitcoin, little change. Well, let me see here. One, I did want to see this. Remember, we were covering Germany and Mount Gox flooding the market with Bitcoin. Well, they're saying it's not Germany selling Bitcoin, it's one of its states, and it has no choice. Why? Since confiscating nearly $3 billion worth of Bitcoin in January, Germany's state of Saxony has sold over half of its initial holdings, causing distress in the market. It's not the country of Germany that's been selling millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin, but a small German state called Saxony. The state confiscated almost 50,000 Bitcoin in January and has been selling its holdings. That's kind of stupid. They could be one of the wealthiest states in the world if they held this Bitcoin. For days, news outlets worldwide have reported on Germany's sale of hundreds of millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin. First, it's not Germany, it's Saxony. Second, though crypto fans have roasted the decision to dump so much of their beloved Bitcoin, Saxony doesn't have a choice. Why? Earlier this year, the states, yeah, why? Why? About a week ago, belongs, yes. Germany selling all their Bitcoin will go down as one of the most retarded things their politicians ever did. I agree with that statement. Germany's government officials are literal idiots. I agree with that statement. If that's what they're doing here. But they're saying us, not us, it's Saxony. The General Prosecutor's Office of Saxony is responsible for liquidating confiscated assets, and the sell-off is hardly surprising. Dr. Lennart Ant, co-founder and CEO of German-based blockchain research lab, says seized assets are always liquidated within a certain period. This is a routine business process, although at a larger than normal scale. Yeah, this is a process they should have canceled that. They're like, hey, we're just operating, standard procedure. Do you know what you have your hands on? This is one of those rules you should not have followed. In the case of Bitcoin, this could at least be argued on the grounds of volatility. Yeah, they received 200 million back from the sale. This is crazy. That much Bitcoin. What did I forgot what billionaire said it that Bitcoin one day is going to reach $10 million a coin? 50,000 Bitcoin. What if they just held that for 10 years? For 10 years. And Bitcoin just went to $500,000 a coin. That's $25 billion at 500,000. What do you think it's worth? Oops. Once it goes to 10 million per coin. That's 500 billion. That's $500 billion worth. Now, do you think the people of Saxony in the future are going to look back on this moment and look at their grandpa? No, it's not even going to be their grandpa, their dads, or even them themselves. We're only talking maybe in 10 years. Like, yeah, that was kind of a stupid move we made there. We would have had $500 billion. All right. That is it. I gotta run. I gotta get ready to do the Get Fit presentation. Again, for those of you who came on late and you're asking about the whole avalanche deal, how that's working, I am not the go-to guy for that. But I did post in the Telegram group a Google Doc in the Get Fit app section that highlights exactly what to do. Also, for those of you, since I've been on the health and wellness tip, you might want to pay attention to a live I did yesterday. Oh, I need to upload it to YouTube. I did a live yesterday on my Facebook wall. I was swimming in the pool. No, it's all good. I was swimming in the pool and sharing some information. I will be giving another update probably on Friday. I'll give another update because I'll have some things to show. Well, yeah, I couldn't notice it. All right. With that, we've got Diamond class tonight. If you missed it last night, the recording is up. If you're not in the Diamond class and you paid to be in the Diamond, you can still see the recording from last night. But tonight is part 2 of the personality traits. And be ready because this is going to be interactive. You guys are going to learn this stuff and you're going to put it into practice. All right. See you guys tonight. Take advantage. I've got our 5-day challenge coming up. We've got our promo right now, still $500 for access to all of our courses. And you get 80% off for this and a free 30-minute consultation like Bobby Buck's about to get. So with that, take care, everybody. See you all in in about 15, 20 minutes. Bye-bye. Oh, you like that, crazy Carla? Good live from the pool. Someone actually said that was just a green screen behind me. So I had to go, kick it in the water, floating a little bit. All
Hey,
right.
Brandon,
Hey, Brandon.
you should do a pool live once a week and everybody's got to see it.
Once a week, pool live. You
Hey,
guys
Brandon.
want to see that? No, the guys are like, no, Brandon, we don't want to see you in no damn pool.
Yeah.
Pool live once a week.
Brandon, what time are the 5-day challenge?
The
What
the
time?
the, the 5-day challenge,
Yes.
that's going to be July 22nd. And
Yeah,
that will
what time?
be that's going to be at, oh, that's a good question because I have summer schedule now. Normally I was doing it at 9 p.m. Eastern. Um, Let me think on that if I want to keep it at 9 p.m. Eastern or move it to 8 p.m. Eastern time.
Now,
Uh, yeah, why do you ask that?
the reason why I'm asking that is because only when you go to a ILCA challenge, there's no time for the classes. So
Yeah,
I'm
in
getting
fact, this
yeah.
week we're gonna update that entire calendar of events because I have new schedules now and new links. So just give us about 48 hours or so. By the end of the week, we're gonna have that whole thing updated, and I'll have the exact time that I want to do on the 5-day challenge because this is be back to the basics this month.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
All right, thanks,
Thank
Stan.
you, sir. All
No
right. You
problem.
bet. Bye.
All right, yeah, I'll do. Well, it depends on the weather too. I wanted to just do a lot more swimming. They said the air quality was bad, and but yeah, at least I'll go in the backyard. The problem is my backyard. There's not very good reception, which is why I don't do a lot back there. And it was one time it was just so bad. It was so choppy. I just said forget it. But yeah, we'll try that. All
Yeah.
right.
One more thing. One more
Yes,
thing.
yes.
When I invited my wife, because she wanted to be a part of this one, when I invited my wife and she signed up, and for some reason it picked up my email. So I don't know how to go about rectifying that.
Shoot a message to Marnita.
Okay.
And give her all your information and the emails, and she'll get you set up.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
No problem. All right, tonight, Diamond Class, Part 2, the personality traits. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Brandon,
Yes,
if
yes.
I drop off the call, um, and I'm selected as a winner, it's because I have a power outage right now. I think I have enough power, but I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to plug my devices in. I don't know when the power's going to come back on.
Gotcha. All right, no problem.
Bye.
All right, take care, everybody. Bye-bye.